Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Monday, the 8th of May 2023. A day that could have went down in history, but has just become another letdown by Millwall Football Club for its fans. And we lost today. We lost at home to Blackburn Rovers, which is no surprise. If you saw yesterday's video, you see our record against it, absolutely abysmal. But we were 3-1 up. We were 3-1 up, and we ended up losing 4-3. So this is the match report from millfc.co.uk. Millwall were defeated 4-3 by Blackburn Rovers in the Sky Bet Championship on Blank Holiday Monday. In a topsy-turvy encounter in SC16, Duncan Watmore put Millwall into the lead, only for Adam Wharton to equalise. Quick fire strikes from Watmore again, and Oliver Burke put the Lions 3-1 up. The second half goals from Joe Rankin Costello and Ben Berriton Diaz ensured the scores were levelled once again. With Millwall chasing a fourth goal, it was the Blackburn who will get their own as Berriton Diaz tapped home to win the game. Ryan Leonard missed out against Rovers through a minor knock, whilst Watmore retained his place from last Friday's 3-2 win over Blackpool. After Jay Britton ramped up the atmosphere with a rousing rendition of God Save the King, the Generals at fever pitch for the beginning of the game, and on 8 minutes it got even louder as after Silent Fleming's long throw saw the ball bounce around the penalty area, Watmore was placed to fund a home effort off the crossbar by the aid of goal line technology. 2 minutes later, the ball was in the net, Blackburn net once again. After Fleming's free kick struck the post, Bradshaw was judged to be in offside position from the follow-up as he tapped in. The Dutchman then strained his neck muscles as he headed just wide of the far post, but with 22 minutes played, Rovers were to equalise with their first effort of the afternoon, as Wharton's attempt curled past a number of bodies in George Long from the edge of the box. A well-worked corner kick then almost caught the Lions out on the half-hour mark, but Long was able to gather from a strike 20 yards out. There were 8 minutes until the half-time break, however, when Mill got themselves back in front. Burke showed determination to win the ball from a Blackburn corner and charge upfield. His long pass looked as though it wouldn't reach Watmore, but a rash mistake from Rovers' Harry Pickering allowed Watmore to creep in, and he net his second of the afternoon. The goal scorer wasn't done there, however, as less than 120 seconds later, more slack defending from the visitors saw Burke ghosting at the back post to fire home and put Millwall 3-1 up. 6 minutes into the second half, Rovers reduced the arrears as Berriton Diaz's free kick was parried by Long and into the path of Rankin Costello, with the Blackburn man converting close range. There were 63 minutes on the clock when the visitors were to equalise, as Berriton Diaz's effort from outside the box was curled home, giving Long apparently no chance. Somehow Blackburn did not then nudge themselves into the lead just moments later, with Berriton Diaz striking a post and substitute Tyree Stolen poking wide the goal at his mercy. Bradshaw's cross could then not be reached by George Saville on the back post, with the number 9 then firing over a perfect cross, but to no avail with no Millwall man present in the area. Tyler Berry and Scott Malone was sent on as the Lions needed more goals, with the former straight into action as he crossed, but Blackburn were able to clear away. The latter then had to clear off his own line, hitting the bar in the process as Berriton Diaz looked to double his tally, with Fleming headed behind from the left back's cross as the final 10 minutes of the campaign came into sight. And at this point, we obviously need 2 goals because we need to win the game. Mason Bennett and Andreas Fogelsam were the next duo to be introduced as time ticks away. Mill to find what will be a golden goal, with Berry forcing a save from Ainsley Pearce, but Berriton Diaz was the man to find the net as he taps home, following across with 3 minutes to play to end Mill's season. And it ends there. And the Mill team was as follows: Long, McNamara, Hutchison, Cooper, Stiles, Mitchell, Saville, Burke, Fleming, Watmore, Bradshaw. And the substitutes were Bennett on 82 minutes for Saville, Berry on 73 minutes for Burke, Malone on 73 minutes for Watmore, and Bobbleshammer on 82 minutes for Bradshaw. The unused subs were Biakovsky, Evans, and Shackleton. And there are the scorers, and the crowd was 17,588, with 1,755 travelling fans. So what can you say? What can you say? I don't, I literally don't know what to say. A few things stood out for me watching the game. It's probably one of Zion Fleming's worst games for Millwall. Absolutely disappeared, strolling around on the pitch, um, ball watching. If you watch their first goal when they made it 3-1, 2-1, um, the first goal that they scored, Zion Fleming is there, the geezer's next to him, he's ball watching, the geezer runs off him and towards Millwall goal, picks up the through ball and whips it in at goal. And again, they figured it out, and I think a lot of other teams are going to figure it out now next season. That if you hit it at pace and low, you whip it in low from about 30 yards out towards George Long, he can't deal with it. He can't deal with it. Especially if you get in the corner, he can't deal with it. There's something wrong with him. I don't know. I'm not a goalkeeping expert, but it's clear to see. I mean, absolutely clear to see. Thought Zion Fleming should have been one of the first people off. I don't know. As soon as George Saville went off, we crumbled. He was probably the best player on the pitch there. And again for Zion Fleming, where they said it here, but they obviously didn't name him because this is the club's official match ball. So Bradshaw's cross, but to no avail, no Mill man present in the area. Yeah, and they mentioned that as well. Bradshaw's busting a gut to get down to the sideline, get onto the ball, and he doesn't even bother looking up. He just whips it into the back post. And then you see on the replay, who was there? No one was there. Zion Fleming strolling around. He didn't bother to fucking run in at the back post. I don't know what's going on because the player award, a year award that he got on Friday, he's sniffing his own farts. He thinks he's the big man, and there was a story the other day that Hutch said like he's very confident. Well, confidence can turn to arrogance if you don't have a bit of humility about you. And like you need to make an effort. Like all he was doing for most of the game was just rubbing the ball with the towel. Fleming was absolutely dog shit in this game. Um, Again, George Long's errors were pulled apart. Anyone else? McNamara wasn't at his best. I don't think. Apparently, Shackleton had a knock. That's why he was on the bench. And I think it was just in case of emergencies, or if he warmed up and he felt okay. Yeah, McNamara giving the ball away. Bad touches that led to other people, led to them getting breaks away. What else? Is there anyone else I can dig out? Not really, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. It was just fucking dog shit all around. I don't know what Rowett said to them at half time, but we needed something different at half time. And to be honest, when it was 3-2, I know Gary Rowett wouldn't have done this, but I was thinking like get Jules Long off and bring Biakowski on. We need a goalkeeper that can save, actually make some fucking saves, and not one for his distribution. Like you need distribution, just fucking pass it to Jay Cooper and then pump it long. Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ, what a fucking shit show all around. I don't know what is worse, getting heavily beaten or to go 3-1 up and then to lose the game like that. And like, I don't know what the fuck, what was up with Blackburn, because it's very clear after a certain time that they weren't gonna make the playoffs. But why were they trying so hard to win? Just fucking hell, what was happening there? But yeah, just fucking hell, what a shit day all round. Oi, oi, oi. So here we go. Let's start and read through some of these excuses that we're going to get. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, South London Press's online website. It's never an easy scenario. Millwall boss on post-game addressed the players after the Championship playoffs slipped away. Gary Rowett has admitted that his post-game message to the Millwall players was difficult as they processed missing out on the Championship playoffs. A 4-3 defeat to Blackburn Rovers at the Den saw the 5th and 6th places go to Coventry City and Sunderland on the final day. Millwall had gone into the final weekend with their destiny in their own hands. But despite leading 3-1 at the break at a packed-out Den, they were unable to secure the result as Ben Diaz sparked a fight back by Rovers scoring twice. "It's never an easy scenario," said Rowett when asked by the South London press about his dressing room debrief. "If you're a player, then you're just devastated. If you've not been able to take the next step, there are probably so many things going through your head about what we could have done differently or better. All I said to the players is that sometimes in these moments you have to feel a bit of this pain and to think about how you can be better and have to use that as a little bit of fire and motivation to be better. We've got our Player of the Season award on the pitch afterwards. And even the players are getting it reluctant because they're thinking about the game. We give the fans who've been brilliant today and throughout the season a clap. But at this moment, there's a feeling of disappointment that is very hard to take out of your head. In a couple of days' time, when a few of the lads are sat on a beach somewhere, they may start to reflect a bit more and detach emotionally. At the moment, everyone in the club is just so disappointed that we got so close we couldn't manage to get over the line. Indeed. And this kind of situation, which Gary Rowett has been in quite a few times now, with Millwall, kind of gets on you. It sticks on you after a while. That smell hangs around you, like you're a perennial loser. Like you can't get it done. You don't have the wherewithal to do what you need to do. That you're always there or thereabouts. Like you're a good manager, but you're not good enough. You know? And like I said in yesterday's video, this is a binary moment. You're either in the playoffs or you're not. You either win the game or you don't. You're either above that dotted line or you're below it. We're below it. We dropped the ball. We were 3-1 up. We ended up losing 4-3, and we ended up dropping. Because of that, we dropped down 2 places and finished up out of the playoffs. Now that was our final moment to secure a playoff place. To be fair, we should have done that probably about 3 weeks ago, but we had a really shit run of form, and that we should have had more points than we had, which would have meant we would have secured a playoff place before today's game, but we didn't, so hey ho. Moving on now to this from southernnews.co.uk. Gary Rowett reacts as Mill drop out of the top 6 after Blackburn defeat. The Lions finished 8th in the Championship with 68 points after losing at the Den on the final day of the season. Gary Rowett admitted that Mill's result on the final day of the season will be a bitter pill to swallow for him and the players. The Lions went into half-time in a must-win finale, leading 3-1. But 3 second-half goals from Blackburn Rovers saw them drop out of the top 6 in dramatic fashion. Given their position, the manager was clearly frustrated that they were unable to get it over the line, admitting that they needed to handle the pressure after the break to get over the line and earn a shot at promotion. It's quite difficult to do anything other than comment on the game and how it went, he said after the defeat. I think the season has been a strong season, one of progress, but at this moment in time it almost feels like an excuse to use that. It was about the game, about getting to the 46th game in a brilliant position. I thought that you could see elements within that were in the last 6 or 7 games. We didn't handle moments as well as we needed to. If we want to be a really top team, we spoke about the fact that part of the day was learning about how the team copes with pressure in different situations in the game. You've seen that all through the leagues where games have swung on one goal. Someone scored a 95th minute equaliser for Notts County. So you see how these games are a little bit different from normal games in terms of how they are. First half, I think we started pretty well. We were aggressive but patient. I think that was really important. We held our shape really well. Blackburn want to keep the ball and drag you around. They scored some very, very good goals. We went in at half-time 3-1 up. I felt that the second half needed to be calm, controlled and disciplined. And we didn't need to go chasing. We didn't need to open ourselves up. What we need to do is not make mistakes. As soon as the second goal went in, you could see the nerves in the team. That little bit of space just opened up everywhere because Blackburn needed to win. They were able to play with a little bit more freedom, go more attacking with numbers. And we had to go and deal with that defensively, and that was the disappointment. The goals were good strikes, but we're disappointed that they scored from those positions. We didn't get out to the ball quickly enough, and we conceded from those areas. But that's the game. You've got to go and handle those big moments. Even at half time, you could be 4 or 5 nil up. You've got to go and handle it. You've got to go and do the right things. You have to show an element of control and calmness, and that was certainly something that we need to do a little bit better today. So here we go. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. This is a roundup, I believe, of the situation. Oh, it's just a roundup of what happened today. So not really anything to talk about. We already know what's happened there. So this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. This is Millwall Scout praises the spirit and graft of his squad despite coming up short and painful final day in Championship. Gary Rowett felt his Millwall squad gave everything they could despite missing out on the Championship playoff place. The Lions knew only a win would guarantee them playoff place, otherwise they would be reliant on other results. And then they go on to say what happened in the game, which I'm not going to go through again. It was bad enough first time. Then rapidly emptied after the last goal. Only a small amount of support was waiting until after the final whistle to applaud the Millwall players, who looked just as stunned as the fan base at the way their playoff prospects were wrecked. I genuinely don't think the team could have given any more over the course of the season, said Rowett. I don't think they could have worked any harder or been any more tougher or any more together. They've been so spirited. What we need to do is go and improve again and push on again. Identify areas perhaps where we've been a little problematic during the season. And we need to strengthen. It's as simple as that. Sometimes in games like this, you learn about little bits you need in the team. I thought we were capable of it. I still think we should have been capable of it, but we have to accept we got beat. The fourth goal didn't really matter. It was immaterial. It was the third goal. We knew the other results and that Sunderland were 3-0 up. So ultimately, we had to win the game. It was either going to be our fourth goal or their fourth goal. And it looked more likely to be their fourth goal in the closing stages. So interestingly there, a little look ahead. Gary Rowett saying we need to improve again and push on again. So sticking around for another season, is he going to get the funds to do that? Obviously, I mentioned in a video a couple of days ago, the new EFL TV deal is ginormous. It's the best it's ever been. So that's a fair few more quid in the bank. But of course, everyone's in the same position that they can then have that money spent. So it doesn't really help us, I guess. Maybe what's happened now with the fact that a lot of people. I'm going to go back obviously during the next couple of weeks, when I'm trying to find stuff to talk about. I'm going to make a video about how my predictions on how the league would go. And I was looking at a lot of other people's predictions, and they thought we were going to finish just above the relegation zone. They thought that we were a one-hit wonder, and that was that. Like we got lucky last season, and no, I think there is something going on at the club. We'll speak about that in a minute. About the quality that's running through the club at the moment. So yeah, Gary out talking about improving things. Obviously, the last 2 seasons we've loaned in a very good young centre back. Last season it was Danny Ballard. This season Charlie Cresswell. So obviously they think there's a problem there at the back. Maybe Hutch is a bit too injury prone. Cooper's not very mobile. And again Murray Wallace not very. Although he's been improved his on the ball stuff. I think it's just his positioning and stuff and his pace. Danny McNamara is not favoured by Garrett in terms of his attacking stuff. So clearly the defence needs work. I think you've got to look at the goalkeepers there. If we could get a goalkeeper that was more like Bart, but it could do a bit more distribution, and that would be probably the perfect goalkeeper. But obviously, I think a lot of the fans not happy with George Long. Very not very happy, and it hasn't just been this season. Like um, there have been times when the calls for him to be dropped have come out. Um, he cannot save things in the corner. He's diving mechanics. Like I said, I'm not a goalkeeping coach or goalkeeping expert. I don't know. There's something wrong with the way he fucking dives because he can't get any. He can't. He doesn't leap like a salmon. He leaps like a lead balloon. Just drops, and he can't get to shots in the corner. He doesn't say. He doesn't make any saves. It's really fucking dog shit. Unless it's at him, in front of him, or above him, he can't fucking do shit. He can't jump into the corners. He's got no spring in his step. So he needs to do something about that. Or we need to do something about that and get a new goalkeeper. What are we doing here? I think our defence needs a bit of work. The attack seems to be set now. Watmore isn't alone, is it? That's his permanent deal. So he seems pretty good. Styles, obviously, they've got the option. Are they gonna take up the option? Ryan Leonard, what's happening there? They haven't offered him a new contract, and it's out of the season. Why didn't he play today? Did someone tap him up and say, listen, we're going to offer you this contract. Don't put yourself in danger. Don't get injured. Don't know, but yeah, interesting to see that line there with Garrett's talking about next season, and that's interesting because obviously last season, similarly, Luton got into the playoffs. They lost in the semi-finals. I think it was Huddersfield. Narrowly avoided relegation. And a lot of people were looking at them and saying, well, they did well, didn't they? Oh, round of applause for them, because obviously they're not going to do that again. They're probably going to drop down. And they didn't. They went higher. They finished third. And they did it with a solid defence. So yeah, we obviously got some things to do in the summer. A target man striker, some kind of tall guy up front. Something. We need a few things. What do you think? We've been linked so far. It's early doors, obviously, but we've been linked with Joe Bryan of Fulham as a left back. We've been linked with Kevin Nisbet again. I think that's just because his agent's trying to drum up interest again. I don't think why would we send a scout to look at him? We would probably send a medical professional to look at his gait, to see how he's run. So, yeah, I don't know. It's too early to talk about next season. We'll see. We'll see who stays and who leaves, and we'll see what deals we get done. But there you go. I'm gonna finish with this in terms of stories, but then we're gonna have a little look at the table and other stuff. So Blackburn boss asked if he had sympathy for Millwall after playoff heartbreak. Blackburn boss Jean Dal Thomason was asked if he had any sympathy for Millwall after Lions threw away a 3-1 to Liverpool 4-3, miss out on securing a playoff spot on Monday. The South Londoners, yeah, we know all about that. Let's go through that. Gareth side finished 8th and 1 point outside the top 6. I can only talk about myself, said the former Malmo boss. I don't have the energy to think about Millwall, I'm sorry. Forward Brereton Diaz, who scored twice at the Den's out contract at the end of the season, is set to leave Ewood Park. It was the final, said the 46-year-old when asked that if it was the Chilean international last act as a Blackburn Rovers player. I'm very happy that he ends it this way. We know that Ben has done really well for the club. We also have had a lot of games where he hasn't scored in the end, so I'm really happy for the boy. He's a brilliant lad. Yeah, so it was confirmed that he's leaving as well, so. Hey ho, there you go. Now, Mill first team did not make the playoffs. Mill under 21s did make the playoffs. And on Tuesday, should find out who their opponents will be because the 3 teams that are in contention are playing Tuesday lunchtime, so we'll find out about that. But was it Saturday? The under-18s qualified for the playoffs with a last game win against Coventry City, a 3-0 win. That moved them up to second place in the Southern League, and they now play the winners of the Northern League in the semi-final to get to play in the final, and that is Barnsley. So they play Barnsley away. Barnsley away in the semi-finals. So, like I said, there's quality. There's obviously quality running through the team. First team narrowly missing out on the playoffs 2 years running, and got the under-18s in the playoffs, in the playoffs. The under-21s run away and won their league, scored so many goals, and the under-18s getting in second place. So there's quality running through the entire club. Professionalism, quality, it's happening. So here are the results of the last day of the season in the Championship. I think I don't really give a shit, but I know some do. But the only one silver line is that West Brom, Jed Wallace didn't get in the playoffs, but then we didn't. So who gives a fuck? I'm a Mill fan. I'm not a West Brom hater or Jed Wallace hater. I'm a Mill fan. And Mill didn't in the playoffs, so that's more important to me. I don't know about you, but to me. Swansea beat West Brom 3-2, which was kind of expected by many. What else have we got? We've got Sunderland beating Preston 3-0. That was kind of expected as well. We have obviously Mill losing 4-3 to Blackburn Rovers. And we have the expected stitch up between Middlesbrough and Coventry. Obviously, Middlesbrough probably needed, well, we'll look at the table in a minute, but if Middlesbrough would have beat Coventry by 4-goal margin or 5-goal margin, we would have gone to the playoffs. I don't know. I think if we drew, anyway, it didn't happen. But obviously, Coventry went 1 up. Middlesbrough then equalised, and I think both teams thought, let's just keep it like this. 1-1's a good result. Let's just see the game out. And there you go. Both of those teams are in the playoffs. And there you go. And they actually play each other next, which is remarkable. That happens more often than you think it would. So it's Coventry versus Middlesbrough in the playoffs, and Luton versus Sunderland. And like I said, having probably a Sunderland Middlesbrough final would be, I imagine that they would want that to happen. But who knows? So there's the table as it stands. Obviously, we dropped down 2 places to 8th, plus 7 goal difference. So yeah, even if we would have drawn that game, we would have finished 7th. So still not in the playoffs. And it's the goals, I'm afraid. If you look at all of the teams in the top 6, what they got? They got double-digit plus goal difference. It's quite remarkable that the team that finished in 7th have a minus goal difference. And it's just them and Preston in the top half of the table that have minus goal difference. And if you look, so obviously we conceded 4 goals against Blackburn today. If you look in the top half of the table, they've scored the fewest amount of goals other than Preston, 12. They've only scored 52 goals, and 4 of those were today against us. Yeah, that was their first winning in a few games. First win, I think he said, in like 8 games. You can see. Yeah, and so again, if you look at the top 3 teams, the thing that you'll notice is that they have goals against record that's less than a goal a game. Luton, 39 goals conceded and 46. Sheffield United, 39. And Burnley, 35. So it's the defences that you need a good, strong defence. And if you don't have that, if you have a good attack, then you can see there Middlesbrough. But I think if you took Middlesbrough results since Michael Carrick took over, and their defence is probably not that bad. And if you look at Millwall, 57 goals scored in 46, which is, what is that? That's in the top half, in the top 10 teams. It's the second worst or second fewest. But it's the same amount as Luton scored. Luton only scored 57 goals, 46 games, but they had a better defence. So that's the thing, is that where we strengthen our defence. Our attack seems to be pretty good. We've got Bradshaw, we've got Fleming. When Fleming actually runs around, does something. We've got what more? What have we got? We've got SA, we've got Maku, we've got Bury. So attack seems pretty set. I think we just need maybe a bit of a target man style striker. Although, could that be Mason Bennett? I don't know. Yeah, that's the table. That's where we finished, and that's it. That's all she wrote. So what is that? Technically 2 points off the playoffs because of the goal difference. So we missed out by 2 points. 2 points. And you think of all the games where we drew and we should have won, or we lost and we should have drawn, or we lost and we should have won. I mean, like I said, it wasn't really lost today. It was lost. We should have secured a playoff place in the last month, but we had really shitty results. So yeah, not only that, but if we scroll down and have a look here, so this is league leaders, championship top teams. Shots per game, 13.4 shots per game for Millwall, and we have the worst amount of goals scored in the top 10 teams. One of them, 57. So we only get 57 goals, even though we've had 13.4 shots per game. Wow. Although, there you go, we've got Tom Bradshaw on 17 goals, Zion Fleming on 15 goals. Neither scored today. And that's out of 57, so that's 30% of Millwall's goals come from Tom Bradshaw, and 27% come from Zion Fleming. So that means the other players made up a third themselves. So a third came from one player, a third quarter came from another player, and all of the rest, more or less just over a third, came from every other player combined. And you can see here Zion Fleming, most shots per game of players, 3 shots per game, averaging. Probably from all those free kicks where he just shoots wildly over the crossbar. So yeah, I should have probably brought up what's going to happen next season. Now, obviously, we know the league. Was it League One settled was yesterday? I can quickly bring it up on my phone. Does anyone really care? We're still kind of fucking pissed off about this now. But so League One, the teams that gone up from League One, because we're going to be in the Championship next season. So Plymouth, we got Plymouth. We got Plymouth and Ipswich. Bloody Ipswich again, huh? And in the playoffs for the League One is Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley, Bolton, and Peterborough. So there you go. So at least we've got another few southern teams. I know one of them is South Western. It's probably the further. It's like West Country, innit? It's probably like another game in South Wales. Probably worse in terms of travelling distance. Plymouth, Argyle. I imagine what you want to get Peterborough, because that's pretty easy to get to, although it's a small ground. And Ipswich again, yeah, that's it. And in terms of teams coming down from the Premier League, I don't think they've still got a few games to play, so I don't think anyone's been confirmed relegated. Maybe Southampton. Is it 3 games to play? So not quite, but they're there or thereabouts. So coming down, it's most likely going to be Southampton, and then it could be Leeds, Leicester, Everton, or Nottingham Forest. It looks like West Ham got themselves out of it by beating Man United. So That could be the championship next season. Leeds, so Leeds and Leicester and Southampton. And obviously we're going to have 3 other teams out of Luton, Middlesbrough, and Coventry, and Sunderland come back down. You would think Middlesbrough would win that, but I don't know if maybe Luton could grind out a result. Maybe even Sunderland, because they're the form team, they're the team of form. But you never know. You never know. But one thing we do know is that Millwall will be playing in the Championship for the 23-24 season. So look forward to that. If you want to find out all the transfer news over the summer, if you're still interested, I'll come back in a week or so when the wounds are healed. Like, share, subscribe. Keep up to date. Keep following the channel. Any rumours and other bullshit, I'll let you know. With daily videos on Millwall News. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.